Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Lefty's Lunchtime, or Lefty and Max, Professor Max. Good morning, we got her. We've seen some awesome, not lower finals, but 16 finals, eight finals and quarterfinals today. We just saw an exciting race to the end. Man, this has been, we've been here for 6 days. We're on the 7th day. It was getting exciting yesterday, but now the excitement's up. My heart's racing. I got butterflies in my stomach. I couldn't sit down. I was looking over the rail. I was looking at the screen. I was looking at scoring. Now I'm getting excited.
Oh, yeah. Now is the time when the racing's on. Now is the time where sort of the big names drop or go forward.
Yes.
We saw there in the already in the 1/8 final, Joe Bornhorst was out. A lot of fast Europeans out. Hampus Berry dropped out. And then in the quarters, obviously, one of the biggest names, Ryan Lutz, dropped out.
Good race, though. Very
good race. He went all the way down to the last lap. First quarter was a bit more drama-free.
Yep.
But second quarter, that was for the first one as well.
Big mover, Spencer Rivkin, bumping up from the 8th final, having a vicious scrap. Speaking of Lutz, we saw Rivkin and Lutz come together at a hard clash here in the rumble strip. I felt Lutz was a little bit too nice in some of his things that he done. I didn't think he had to give back some of those positions. But that is kind of how Lutz is. Then we saw an awesome scrap to the end between Mayfield. I mean, that was just a good race altogether. The young Josemi Sanchez, who honestly kind of has flown under my radar the entire weekend. I know he was fast at the Euros. We saw Hotton runner kind of take a lead that final.
That kind of happened to both the quarters. Rose took out in the A leg. Jona took off in the B leg. Runaway wins, but the fight for the bump, that was a real battle.
Yeah, I mean, we're not surprised here. What did we say? We said once we started getting to the actual racing, we'd see the Americans come out here, and they've been here for a while. Yes, a lot of them have been on the back foot, but now we see them getting there. Brandon Rose has kind of been fast all week, just having some bad luck. We want to talk about Mayfield, who has been on the back foot pretty much all week. Yeah. We talked to him this morning. You had an interview with him. I haven't had a chance to listen to it. I talked to him. I said, I think you could do this. And he said, I think I can do it. That was Mayfield had to muscle that bump out of there.
That was a fighting bump. It wasn't like he ran second for the whole main and then bump. Because, I mean, the start looked good. He did the lead for a little bit. Then a crash. Jona took over. And since then, Mayfield was fighting all the way to the end.
Yeah.
At the end, he was kind of safe because he didn't have to be Savoya and Josemi Sanchez, who was fighting for the bump. But, I mean, he was right there. One crash, and he would have been out. So, that being said, though, now he has the 30 minutes on his belt. He has the chance to go into the semi-practice B leg just now after this one. He has the chance to try one more thing before the semi. And I think, we're still believing, At least I am.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of expected him to run away with that.
I did too.
But he didn't. So I have, this is no disrespect to Mayfield. I'm a fan of his. I call him the Mayfield. In the back of my mind, does he have the pace to compete with these guys and get it up there? So I still think they have to go there and find some stuff in their car, get ready for this semi. Everybody has to race in. But also, let's talk about that incident because that was probably the most exciting. We saw Josemi, who was actually in first and second for most of that race. I think he lost some traction. We have seen guys lose traction. We thought Savoya was losing traction at some point in the race, which I think he did. He did adjust. What we saw, finish in the end where we saw Josemi jump. They basically came up the front of the jump with Savoya just in front. They landed. Josemi kind of at the inside, but we saw him touch the tire and take him out, and he was unofficially the winner for that. Until we saw a protest coming up. There we have the replay right there, as you can see it.
Yeah, so here we can see Savoya actually jumps a bit to the outside. That opens the door for Josemi. The issue here kind of was that Josemi was coming in with a lot more speed. So coming from behind, and then he came in from the inside with a higher speed. Now, had he been 20 centimeters more forwards,
yes,
that would have been clean.
Yes.
But the issue here was that he hit the rear tire of Savoya, and that's that's sort of the edge of the rules where if you hit the rear tire, it's kind of clear that you are the one who caused the incident.
Basically, if they had landed like this, it would have entered Josemi. Unfortunate for Josemi, we saw the obviously I would protest that too.
Yeah.
We saw the people, the Matrix people, and everybody protesting that. Immediately, Stetson came up here, asked if we can see a video replay. If we got it, we saw the IFMAR officials, we saw the AFRA officials come up here, and they used video evidence to overturn it. So unfortunate for young Josemi Sanchez, but hey, I don't think anybody who's a racer wouldn't have sent it at that point.
Oh,
you had
of course.
to send it.
Yeah, you have to try.
You know, what's the saying? No risk it to the biscuit. He risked it.
Yeah.
He bisked it, and he did admit it. He didn't get it.
And like I said, 20 centimeters more forward, he would have been fine. So I think for Josemi, obviously a big disappointment we saw after Stitchen announced that the position would be reverted. We saw the whole team of Josemi get obviously upset.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
They tried to still talk, but at that point when the referee has seen it and he knows what's right, what's wrong, so and he has the last word on that one. And obviously then the opposite side was Savoia and here's French guys, pit guys, Matrix guys, Gyosho people, all of them were cheering for him because made it through the semis.
Maybe they felt that was some justice after how rough it was for Lutz in the previous quarterfinal.
Oh, for
man,
sure.
it was like a pinball machine out there for Lutz. But great turnaround, more dramatics at the end. But hey, I don't blame Josemi. We would have all done that last jump of the race, and they made it look good. Maybe Matt has something to say to us.
Well, I've been running around, so you may have already mentioned this, but the semi-practice B has been delayed by about 15 minutes.
Really?
Due to protests that are going on right now.
So can we get some more information about the protests?
So what I was thinking is, if it's good with you guys, we'll set up a camera down there and they can go and ask, because there's loads of drivers milling about. We just go and ask questions. So we'll come back to you in like maybe 4 minutes and start talking down there?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
So he risked it for the biscuit, and he bisked it. That's I got it. But excellent racing. We see our good friend Briefcase, Mr. William Venables, making it. What's up, Will? Man, the atmosphere is electric here. It's like we got her. We knew it was finals day. The music's good. We see the crowds coming in. We see the grandstands getting full. The pits is full. You heard people oohing and ahhing. Man, it's going to be interesting. I think, to me, honestly, out of all these guys, Brandon Rose looks most solid out of the bumper or uppers. And you know how?
Yeah, I think Yono was great.
Right?
I think one point I want to raise, because we still have a little bit of time, is it's not unfamiliar for the guys from the quarters to bump to the main. For example, at the Euros, Josemi was one of the guys who made from the quarters, same as Robert Battier, same as Barufalo. All of these guys made it from the quarters at the Euros. Here we have Rose, we have Jona, even Mayfield, all those guys. And the semi-drivers have the semi-practice, and you can get a feel for your car. But it's completely different having a proper race, because the adrenaline's up, you're focusing on your race, and having that feeling going into another race, there's a saying, bumpers bump, and that's the number one thing at these races.
We saw Johnny Skidmore bump from the quarterfinals to the semis to the final.
Yeah, 2 years
2022.
ago. Yeah.
Rifkin has 2 30-minute finals. He's got an hour's worth of practice. He's got an hour's worth of testing tires. Not surprised there. We know Rifkin is a two-time two-wheel drive champion, two-wheel drive, 8-scale Raw national champion. He is actually a very, the class of driver that we expect to be in this.
Yeah.
I'm actually, out of him, out of the guys that aren't up the top, they're like, Brandon Rose obviously ran away with it. I think that Rifkin's looking very solid to have a very good semi performance. So if you wanted to know what happens in the semis, actually, so they take the top 6 from each semi A and semi B. They go straight through to the A final. And then all the rest of the drivers go back to the LCQ, which is going to be 15 minutes. And one will bump from that. As we saw in 2022, Dakota Fenn, who had a flame, I think he blew a plug in his semi while he was in a bump position. I can't remember exactly what it was. But have to go to the LCQ, start last, and he actually came through the field and won that. So don't be deterred. We still have a lot of racing left to go. We can see if your favorite driver in the semi does not make it, he can make it through the LCQ. I think we have Nick there. We're going to find out. It looks like I think our producers are saying we can go down and find out what all the protesting is about. We're going to send it down to Nick.
Well, I'm not really sure where to find the protesting. We've found several drivers who are waiting to go out for the semi-practice. Everyone's kind of wondering what's going on. There's a protest by Marco Baruffalo and everyone else. Davide, any idea what the delay is about?
I think they are taking Savoya's car because he ran on the quarterfinal, and I think he was out with the fuel tank, so they have to wait 10 minutes, something like that. So I don't know.
He bumped in the last corner. So you haven't touched this track for a day and a half. How do you feel?
I mean, feel confident. I hope the car works well. We worked yesterday. We rebuilt everything, refresh everything. So let's go and see what happens.
How important is this semi-practice? It's 10 minutes, the final's an hour. We know you can run bald tyres, it's fine. But how important are these 10 minutes?
I mean, for sure they are important because we can see the fuel mileage, how we work on the fuel stop, tyres, of course, and if we have to adjust something for the semi. But I mean, like you say, the 1 hour final is super long, and also I saw some cars and some tires super destroyed after 30 minutes of quarters. But let's see what happens. I mean, I don't know now. We have to see.
Good luck anyway.
Thank you.
Well, you just heard the announcement. The reason for the delay was when Renault Savoia kind of bumped in. What happened was that he then had to go through tech. The tank was too big. They had to wait for the tank to cool down. The tank's now cooled down, and he is in the final. So that was the reason for the delay, just the fact that they didn't have to wait long enough for the tank to cool down. The regulation, they just called the start, so we expect we will probably see the drivers go up in the next 3 or 4 minutes to see if we can find any other victims around here. There's a man who's currently Juan Carlos Canas. So the big advantage of being the TQ is you get to go out in both the semi-final practices. So what did you learn in those first 10 minutes?
When you have the 2 practice, you have more chance for try 4 tires. For example, I try 4 tires. If I don't make the TQ and I only have 1 practice, I only try 2 tires.
Are you still not sure what tyres you'll run for the semi-final, or is this what tyres you want to run for the final that you're testing?
I'm sure about the final tire, but maybe I want to try something on semi-final in case it's better for the final.
Great stuff. Thank you, Juan Carlos. Good luck. So there we are. He knows what he's running for the final. All the controversies, he knows what he's running for the final. Let's meander up and see if we can see any other drivers. Let's have a quick word with Elliot Boots. Oh, we got Ryan as well. Elliot and Ryan. Elliot, semi-practice. Is it the most important 10 minutes of the event?
I would say so, yeah. It's the closest to the semi-final we're going to run to for track conditions and temperature. So, yeah, I mean, and it's as the track now has developed, everyone will be trying tyres like we will and everyone here. So, yeah, I think it's pretty important.
Much cooler than the qualifying days. How does that affect the car, the grip and everything else?
I'll let you know in 10 minutes.
But you must have experience. You've been in conditions before where it's been a bit cool. So do you have right, 8 degrees cooler, I know I need to do this, I need to do this. With the jetting, I need to do this. Is it literally a voyage of discovery?
Yeah, I mean, it probably mean that we can lean our engines out a bit more, with lower temperatures. That would be a key factor. Setup-wise, I don't think it'll be too different, but it'll be mainly tyres would be the big setup change that people will do.
Thanks, Ed. Good luck for the day. See if I can grab a quick word. Ryan, congratulations. Bump up. You made it difficult for yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just talking to him, my Mike, my mechanic, and it's like just one little miscalculation, tiny, and it's just super big crash. So, luckily I had a couple less crashes than the other guys, and I got it into the semi. But the semi's gonna be tough. Obviously, every time you go up, there's better drivers. So, just go out there, try to get a clean start. Luckily, we get to run the practice. Made a couple small changes in my car, try some tires, and just see what happens.
When you're now changing your car, are you actually looking for more speed or actually looking for more consistency because you don't want to make those expensive mistakes?
I'm looking for trusting that I have the speed and trying to get my car a little easier to drive so that when biggest thing is when you're in traffic and you're racing to try to keep it predictable and calm, because I felt like when I was with other cars out there, it was hard to adjust lines. The car was pretty line sensitive, so which that's just how this track is. So, but yeah, we made just a sway bar change, some droop, a little lower ride height, nothing crazy. Try a couple different tires, and then who knows? It's semi can get a little radical out there. So we're coming from the back, and hopefully there's some carnage, and we can get up there and fight for it.
You have got an advantage. You've run a half-hour race. How are your tyres at the end of the half hour?
Oh, they're bald. Yeah, you can't see even what they were, but they're good that way. You know, I think they get better as they get bald. Luckily, we're doing pre-tech, so we don't really have to worry about anything at the end. I guess the guys that make the semi or make the final, what's going to be crazy is seeing foams and stuff coming out of tires. Hopefully, they can everybody's tires kind of survive. So, but it's cooler today. I don't know if that's going to help tire wear. It seems like the track almost has a little more pace to it because it's cooler. It's not as slimy. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You're one of the most experienced and successful racers here. Do you still get the excitement of a World Finals day? Are you still feeling, oh, wow, this could be the day?
Yeah, I mean, I never lose hope, you know what I mean, especially at a World Championship or even any race that has a semifinal. You know, you never really know what's going to happen. So, you know, I'm keeping my hopes optimistic, but not crazy. You know, if I can get into the final, I would be very, very satisfied with that. But this, like I said, the semi is going to be very tough. Both semis have obviously the best drivers in the world in them, so I'm going to have everybody's going to have something go their way. And yeah, just looking forward to the opportunity, and just thank everybody that supports me. It's been a long week. Teams worked well together, and we made it this far. We'll see if we can keep going.
Wish you best of luck. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
That's Ryan Mayfield. I think they are going to cause a quick word with another Ryan. I'm a word with Ryan Lutz, who just missed out. Ryan, just missed out in the semi. Tell me you kind of gave me just missed out, but you must be sick, surely.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I had the position, you know, and I just made a couple mistakes. Tires are bald at the end. I missed my line by just that little bit, and get a little bit of slide, missed the line. You're outside, and they got underneath, and that's what it was. So.
You've had a learning experience. You've got your young charge there. What have you imparted to our surprise semi-finalist, Phil Nguyen?
Just trying to keep him calm, tell him to have fun, drive fast, keep it clean, and I think he can be up there.
How would you sum up your experience here? Has it been just one long frustration?
It's been a tough week. I mean, the track's fun to drive on. It's just enjoy it, but just the results, you know, not where you want to be quite.
Okay, thank you indeed, Brian. And as the noise increases, we're about to get the second semi-final. I'm going to hand back to Lefty and Max.
All right, yeah, I can see Ryan's a little bit frustrated, as he should be. I mean, I saw him get completely plastered in that roller. I mean, I wish we did have a replay of it. Mind you, it was by Rivkin. It was he kind of got out of control going through there. So, unfortunate for Lutz, he's going to get a little bump ready for the racing. We heard that Savoya's tank was a little bit oversized. They let it have a cool-down period, and then it passed tech. So good stuff on IFMAR for getting it done, and the Federation for getting everything done as we go for another semi-practice. Yeah, I think Mayfield, he knows, like, he needs to find something out there. Yep. He said his car was very hard to drive in traffic. We was watching it. I was watching it from up here. I was watching it on screen. I was watching it out there. Still having a hard time rotating the rear end around these corners at a great speed. So still lacking probably just something in setup that makes him comfortable with his platform. Yeah,
unfortunately for Lutz, I think he also had a one extra pit stop compared to the other guys. He could have made 7:30. I mean, ifs and if, always. But I mean, without that extra pit stop, he would have been in. There would have been no question about it. One thing I kind of want to talk about now is the tire situation.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Because I've been asking around a bit, and it feels like it's only clays now.
Really?
That's what it feels like. I talked to some guys who went out with regular softs. Mm-hmm. They said it absolutely sucked. No steering whatsoever, no grip. Here, all the J Concepts guys are running clays. Mm-hmm. They're running the softer of the clay compounds too. I'm wondering one thing that, because they have the option to go to a little bit stiffer, the gold compound, that are they going to have that option for the main, or would they rather go with the softer one, have maybe a bit more speed? Who knows? Most of those guys, I don't think, have even tried the golden one, the stiffer one. But yeah, that's an open question in the air right now. I have not gotten confirmation what compound matrix guys are running. J Concept has been clays all the way from yesterday. Mm-hmm. But Hot Race guys seem to be clays are working. At least the regular compounds aren't working. Hot Race also has the option these days to go to hard clay compound. But at least before, it has been significantly slower. So it's going to be an interesting one if someone's going to choose a stiffer compound for the 60-minute final in hopes that the tire will last longer. But the downside could be that the grip of the tire is still worse. And we all know that clays work when they're slick. So you're going to be really fast with the clays even though they're slick. There's a little bit of dust on the track, but at the end of the day, it's not enough dust where you'd lose so much that you would lose so much that you absolutely need the thread. So right now it looks like it's going to be the clays for the whole way through. That being said, I do think right now J Concept's looking really strong in terms of tires. From looking at the bump ups, Rose and J Concepts, Rivkin and J Concepts, Jona and J Concepts. A lot of these hot race guys like Barufolo had a tough time.
We saw Sankatine
near
the end of his run lose pace.
Exactly.
So.
And similar story with Savoia. He was struggling quite a bit throughout. Obviously, we don't know his specific compound, but yeah, right now J Concepts actually seems to be the best tire, at least for the 30 minutes.
Yes.
From what we've seen on track. That being said, now when we go to these top heats, that could change. We should actually look at what the X-ray guys are running. I should check that now that we have the chance.
But here's what I'm thinking about, right, Max? Who's very good on both tires?
Well,
the guy you like to win.
Yeah, I mean, Ongaro's really good on both tires, but the funny part about this whole thing is Ongaro's probably going to have the most tires at the end of the run.
This is true.
The way he drives.
Well, we've seen that. We saw that buggy land last year when him and Canasta were racing, and it looked like Canasta's going to run away with it, and it's just kind of like we thought that Ongaro was losing his tires, and then he came back.
Yep.
So we know that Ongaro can go equally as fast on ball tires as he can on tread tires. We know Ongaro's good late in the game. Are we going to see Juan Carlos Canas adjust this? But first, we're talking about all this. We're not even sure if Davide Ongaro and Canas are going to be in the finals.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, tire strategy will play into this already in the semi. We will have, as we heard Mayfield say, you can't even tell what tire it was.
Yes.
And I had few guys, I take pictures of few guys who ran a qualifier and the 20-minute final yesterday, and it was absolutely bold. No thread on any part. Even the sidewall had worn down, so it was hard to see which text there was. Yes. So I think even in these 30 minutes, like we saw already with Sanketin really losing pace till the end, there could be big changes at the end of the semis, and we have to be sort of prepared for that. To seeing someone take off in the beginning and then slow down at the end or come through the ranks downwards, and some people coming up. And I think the tire games are going to be really big part of who is going to bump to the main too. Like last year, 2 years ago, Dakota Fendt, he chose the wrong tire to the semi. And that was the issue. He chose the wrong tire to the semi. He wasn't brave enough to go to the clays early on. And that's what caused all that drama and him going through the LCQ. Yep. And then he went to clays and he was there. He was right there at the fight for the win at times too. So tire selection now for the semi is going to be key. There are going to be guys who should be in the main in terms of pace, but they're going to choose the wrong tire. And right now, it's hard to say which one is actually the right one.
Yeah, we've come all this way, and we still don't know which tire is the best one. It's only been 7 days of racing.
Yeah, I mean, but that's because the track changes.
Yes,
so the condition changes. We don't have sun today. That's one thing, too. Right now, the B semi practice is starting. We have a bunch of these guys trying tires. The interesting part about these semi practices, you see a guy running yellow wheels that never run yellow wheels because they're testing stuff out. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the semis individually. Yeah. Like which guys are going to be in which semis. We should probably start with the A semi. So A semi, we obviously have the number one guy, Juan Carlos Canas.
Who you feel, if you want to go, Max's feelings is that Juan Carlos Canas has already shown his cards. He's already shown his maximum pace, and he's going to go. We was talking about in our preview where you think Ongaro is hurling back. I personally think that Runnerfolk and Boots are hurling back and have something, their trump card to play as well. I agree with you on Ongaro, but one of the guys that we can't count out, two of the guys we can't really count out of this is Coelho and Dakota Fendt. So Max is getting, actually guys, Max is getting distracted. He hears cars out there, so he can't focus now because he's looking at them. I personally think that Ronald Falk has something left. I think Boots has been very quiet. He's kind of been very subdued. And then, of course, we all know that Dakota Fenn is probably one of the fastest, if not fastest, all-around drivers in the RC right now when it comes to off-road.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be surprised to see if he is up there in a dark horse as well. But it's very, very touch and go at the moment. We'll see.
Yeah. And just looking here down over the railing, a lot of drivers testing different stuff on their cars. For example, Davide Ongaro, I think this is one of the first times of the weekend we see him the Lexan wing. He's now coming in the pits, a little bit of an engine tune for him. So people are still testing car, people are testing tires. A lot of things going on right now. Canas obviously was already in the previous one running, and now he's running again. So up to semi-A, I think Canas, Coelho, and Fenn, those three should make it. Like that, to me, those are no-brainers. So as long as they keep it together, they should be in there. Behind them, Figueiredo, Polito, and Skidmore. So that's the top 6 starting for the A semi. I think of those, maybe Figueiredo you could put in the sort of a sure bet category. But from Polito, Skidmore, care of Berton onwards, that's all to play for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. We can't really pick anybody from that.
Yeah.
Why I picked Joel? Because, well, Joel has a very similar type of surface track at his house. At his local track is the B-Buggy Arena. He's been, like, pretty good right from the start here. He's raced probably, besides the Baldos, he's probably raced the most on the conditions like this because of his own personal track over there in Portugal. So I expect, he seems very confident. I was talking to him yesterday. He is, for me, one person, a long shot, I think, but he is a long shot for maybe a podium. Or, anything can happen in this, as we've seen as well.
Yeah.
Let's look at semi-B.
Well, let's continue to the semi because we have the bump-ups too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we have Brandon Rose starting from 9th. Then we're going to have Daniel Pariente. Then we're going to have Spencer Rivkin and Alex Anchetin. So I think, actually, if we look at these names here, as we said, the top 4 seems quite secure. But we have, Polito, Skidmore, Carup, a 10-scale guy, Polito. He's good on speed, but not always there. And I think, if anything, this might be the easiest semi. Because we always talk about this. We always say which one was the easiest semi, which one was the easier quarter. So I think, actually, Rose and Rivkin, they have a really good chance to bump up from this one. They have a really good chance.
I mean, I think that Brandon Rose has been very solid all week, just missing out on, there's positions that he needs to directly go into the semi. He can go out there. He looked like no one could touch him in his final. So Rose, who's been probably one of the most consistent American racers, coming off his first big win at the SIC early on in January and consistently in the top 5 against his competitors in America, seems to be one of the Americans that have adapted quickly to this very fast and challenging track.
Yeah.
And Rivkin, 1 hour of practice under his belt.
Yeah.
Looking very firm, looking confidence, because that's something he's kind of lacking early. So he has some confidence behind the back. We know he's a world champion, so I expect good things from him as well.
Yeah. Shall we move to the semi-B?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously, second place finisher in qualifying, David Ongaro is going to be starting on pole for the B or even semi. Ronald Falk in second, Elliot Boots in third, and Berkan Kilic in fourth.
Ooh.
Now, here's the interesting part. In fifth, it's Burak Kilic.
Wow.
So, if you listen to these names, all of these guys were in the main 2 years ago.
Yes.
And even the guy in sixth, starting from sixth, is Mason Fuller. Starting from seventh is Robert Battier. And starting from eighth is Phi Long.
Okay, this is definitely the honors.
Yeah, I know. And listen, we're going to go forwards. We just saw Jona Hatanen drove crazy laps. He's going to be starting ninth. Then behind him, we have Oscar Navarro. And behind them, it's Ryan Mayfield.
And so I do recall somebody having Oscar Navarro into the semis on our preview podcast. Very good. He's been kind of just there from the beginning. Yep. He had a very solid drive. He made mistakes and other stuff. But you are correct, dude. That is a fully loaded semi. Besides Ongaro, Boots, and those guys who front of Hulk, are we going to see the Killex do something?
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be amazing.
Let's say now that, Boots and Ronald Falk and Ongaro go through, because their speed is good enough that if they're clean, they'll go through. But one of these guys, or many of these guys, are not going to make it through, which is the Kilic brothers, Fuller, Battier, Filong, Mayfield, Hartanen, Navarro, and Savoia. So, like, those guys, only 3 of those can go through, and it's going to be, some big names are going to drop from that semi.
This is true. But I have some confidence in Fuller because
I do too. Yeah.
He near the end of qualifying, he picked up immense pace.
Yeah.
I talked to him, I think Thursday night before he left. I went over and talked to Team Fuller. He seems very confident. The RCTV all of them seem to be good.
Yep.
So for me right now, the most secure 2 Americans that can bump up into this right now, besides Dakota Fenn, for me, is actually Brandon Rose and Mason Fuller.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Easily.
Yeah.
I think they should do this pretty easily. Even though Brandon Rose is kind of starting down the line, they had to bump up.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you.
I'll throw Rivkin in there. The one I'm shaky about, and I hate to do this because I really do like the Mayfield. The one American that I'm very shaky about is actually Ryan Mayfield in this.
Oh, yeah. Like, he's going to be starting all the way from 11th. 30-minute main, sure, starting position is not that key. But the names I just listed there, he's going to have to beat a Kilic or a... Ooh, that was a close call with a Marshall. one guy he's going to have to beat is going to be a Kilic or a Fuller to make it through. And on top of those guys, he has to beat, the guys he lost to in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. So this is... I think people, to a lot of our American followers that are watching, I love you all, and I come to a lot of races in America. I know a lot of them are surprised to see a lot of the big names not up there, but you have to understand that, one, they're racing. This is the World Championships. We have people from all over the world. Just because you don't know their names doesn't mean they ain't fast. So you may not know Oscar Navarro or Josemi Sanchez and these type of drivers, but hey, they're fast over in Europe. Josemi's a young guy. He's new to me. I've seen him around, but I didn't expect this from him. They're young drivers. They're fast. Europe has done a great job of farming young drivers in each country and all this stuff, and you're starting to see it show. While we expected the Americans to come here a lot more confident and to be on the front foot as we have a dust storm coming our way. I think that was the big surprise by most American race fans is how much they've been on the back foot. But what you have to understand at the same time is that over the last 2 years, that these young racers have been getting faster as well.
Yeah. But that all being said, the B semi is going to be brutal. There's going to be some hearts broken there. There's going to be tough fighting. I think the fighting between Ongaro and Ronefog is going to be interesting.
Yes.
But I also think, Canas and Coelho, that's going to be interesting too. We don't know really Boots. You keep telling me Boots has something in his back pocket.
So here's what I think about Boots, right? So as we've talked about many times on the podcast, how Boots has rejuvenated his career in the last year and he's had impressive performances. We do know he came second at this track here in the Euros last year. What I see in Boots is the same thing I see in Ronefog, which is quiet confidence. They haven't necessarily been Ronefog was near the top during practice and whatnot. Yep. Boots has been consistently where he is pretty much the entire run all week. You go up to him, he looks relaxed. He's, and like he has something in his back pocket. Now, maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Maybe I'm just I am crazy, that's for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely crazy. But I just feel that both him and then when I go talk to Ronefog, I feel the same confidence. We was talking about this with our title sponsors last night, Laterra Racing, as we had dinner with them. Thank you to Kim and Martin, his wife, and Klaus for the good time last night. As we talked about it last night, Kim and I seem to have the same thing. Like, they know Ronefog. I know Ronefog. I've known him over the years. I think that him, Boots, they're just not showing their full cards yet. You, on the other hand, think I'm completely crazy and conspiracy theorist. But I think, as you said, Canas has shown his full speed. We saw the full epitome of speed from Canas, I think, in Q6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We also we haven't seen fully what Ongaro can do.
No, we haven't.
Yet.
Yeah.
So I think he's there as well. But also I think these guys are holding back. Coelho, we've seen him have his pace.
Yeah.
We've seen Coelho be very fast. We know he can be fast. But he needs to limit those mistakes because that's what has caused him not actually TQing or not taking TQ of this race. So I think a lot of these drivers have their trump card in their back pocket. They have to wait to the finals to show it. And we'll see what happens because all of them still have to bump in. I'm expecting. I mean, if the quarterfinals are any significance to what the quality of racing that we've had, and also we had great lower finals yesterday. I think I hope in my deepest passion for RC racing that we see 2 great semifinals, an excellent LCQ, and then an excellent 60-minute final with a battle to the very end with lots of ups and downs and dramatic finishes and everything else. That's all we can hope for as racing fans. What we don't want as race fans, I'm sure the person who wins it is a complete walkaway.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I think we're actually looking pretty good to have a fight for the win because Canas and Ongaro and Goelho have been so closely matched so far. Now, I feel the only guy who can really walk away with this would be Ongaro with the current situation. But I think he has had some issues with the starts this year. So let's hope he has a slow one again. So we have that, mid-race battle going on. We've gone through the semi-practices. People have tested the tires. People have tested their cars. Now it's going to be a lunch break for them.
Yep.
They're going to prepare cars again for the semi. They're going to have 30 minutes of racing. And then we're going to see who's going to be the top 13 going to the main.
I think we have semi-B practice over and done with. I think we're going to go for a track walk with Nicholas Damon.
We are. We have loads and loads of comments been flowing through. Never, ever has there been so many viewers during a semi-practice, I can tell you that. Usually everyone goes away for lunch, but more people have joined to watch this. So It's been fantastic coverage. So much appreciation for Max's man bun as well. So many people appreciating Ongaro and shouting on Ongaro. I want to see more flags. I just want to see flags throughout the semis, flag emojis in the comments. How cool would that be?
Be
your country.
Yeah.
Put your country in the...
That's actually a good point. We haven't even talked about that, but there's so many nationalities. Just looking at the B semi now from the list, we have Spain, Portugal, USA, Portugal, Italy, Great Britain, Denmark, Italy again, USA, Spain, and Italy. So, Italy and Spain are there more, but there's all across the world. Sadly, no Asians this time. No oceanic countries here, but the Europeans, the Americans, all across, really strong.
Which we expected. 2 biggest markets in RC, 2 fastest group of racers we see, and we always love to watch when the best get to race each other every 2 years at the World Championships. So I think we're ready for our track walk.
So, we have flags flowing. We've got Austria, we've got America, we've got Sweden. Keep them coming. Coming up in this lunch period show, we are going to go walkabout with Lefty and Max. That's going to be awesome. But before that, we're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to have Nick Damon doing a track walk. So we'll be back after this.
Welcome down to the track. Now, you did say you're going to have a track walk with me, but that would just be me going, ooh, and ah, as I go over hills. So what I thought I'd find is someone who actually knew what they were talking about. And so I've very kindly, Spencer Heckert from USA and Techno has agreed to join me on the walk. First of all, Spencer, I don't want to say congratulations, commiserations on your races, but have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, I've had a good time. Team's been working good this weekend. We've all been working together, trying to get our guys to do as good as we can, and we've got a couple guys in the semis here, so hopefully we can make it happen.
Hope so. Right, let's start by having a wander out. So we've started at pit out because we'll follow that. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is this surface. Yeah. This surface, which is really concrete-esque. It's small, but it's completely different. Why is it so different from 2 years ago?
I don't really know. I think they resurfaced the track. I think they had to make it a little more fair for everybody. But I heard they use glue for airports in Africa. So that's the surface is very abrasive. It's very high grip, and now there's a lot of rubber on the track. So guys are starting to go to clay compound, synthetic. So yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, we just move a bit further on here, Ash. You can see the rubber now down on the takeoff point, but also you can see how this has been stuck together. So that is pure rubber, that's sticky rubber, but they keep something from breaking up by, I shouldn't do that really, with glue, but there it's just solid rock abrasion. So, the days of loose dirt have gone and it's all about glue.
Yeah. It's definitely a little different compared to what we're used to. But we've been racing 10 scale on glue, but now we're racing 8 scale on glue too. So.
Now, the thing to point out, because obviously you've seen mostly our main shot from up there, and it makes the track look very flat. The track is not very flat. So, for example, I'm just going to come from... I've been climbing uphill, probably about 3, and you come up this little jump here, which is effectively going into the first corner, and this is sharper than last time. Yeah. Does that actually make it difficult? There is still a straight line if you get it right, though, isn't there?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty difficult here. You're going real fast. You're jumping into this corner. You got to be very careful not to overcorrect and hit this blue marker here, because that'll send you flying into the wall. But yeah, this is tough. There's a straight line, but it's definitely tough to get right every lap.
The one thing I've been surprised by, I thought it was going to cause chaos at the start of races, but everyone's been very well behaved so far.
Yeah, everyone's pretty well behaved through here so far, but once they get into this next section, it's been getting pretty aggressive. But.
So again, they've got a little bit of break up there. They won't mend the track in between the heats and the finals, but on the whole, it's all glued down. Now, this is the first thing to say. This is just what looks like a little tiny jump from up there, but as you can see, that rise is what, a metre, 3 feet?
Yeah, I would say probably about 3 feet. It's definitely big, but it flows pretty good because you're going so fast after the straightaway. But.
So you carry the speed.
Yep.
And as you can see, absolutely no one has hit this. This is virgin dirt. No one's been on this unless they made a horrible mistake.
Yeah!
Oh, there we go. There's fan clubs there. He's doing very well. And this is the landing strip. So when you come on the landing side, again, that's where the stickiness happens. So where are you aiming for? Is it anywhere, or is it a better place to be on the track on this landing?
Definitely probably like right there where that little black circle is. You kind of want to sweep this really good, carry a good apex. But you got to be very careful to not go too far wide and land outside the pipe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've been riding the pipes. And it costs you a lot of time. So this looks relatively simple because it's just it's a sweep round. Is it easy? I don't know. I mean, it's often I say, oh, it's an easy bit. I go, no, but it's not. It's awful.
Yeah, no, this is definitely pretty tricky. You can hit this pipe on accident pretty easily. It's very grabby. But yeah, you can see a couple of guys have cut and then they almost double this off of the pipe on accident. But yeah, you want to sweep this real good. Then you got to carry your speed and arc this really well to carry your speed. So
yeah, one thing that's not evident again from the picture either is these what looks like a simple pair of hairpins. They're not, because they're both running down the hill, aren't they? So this one, I'm going to go around a 180, but it's actually really steep, and actually you're pivoting round on a downhill corner.
Yeah, it's very off camber. You can't really see it probably that good on the video, but it's definitely tough to not flip over here. That's why you gotta kind of arc it really good so you don't turn in too sharp and then flip over. But this one's pretty simple, but when you come down this hill here, that one's pretty tough too.
Yeah, if you look at this is a very traditional racing line for a full-size car. And obviously, we don't always take racing lines, do we, with RC cars. This is very much a racing line, late apex. But then you come down here, and again, this is the bit where I always think this looks fun. This sweep down and round and up again. And I'm sure you'll probably say, no, it's really hard.
Yeah, this is really hard. Yeah, when you come down this hill, you got to make sure your car doesn't allow it to wiggle, because you lose a lot of time through this section. This is definitely a spot where you can make up a lot of time, so you got to be careful coming through here.
So you look at it
smooth.
Yeah, looking at the track itself, we've got quite a bit of break up here. And this sort of break up, which is quite not deep. Would that massively upset the car if it runs over it?
No, it doesn't really seem to affect it too much. Not right here. It looks like it would, but it doesn't really do much.
And this is a nicely rubber bit. So when you're actually running on these rubber bits, do you get extra grip, or actually make the thing a little bit looser and turn better?
It seems like it does a little bit now that the guys are on clay, but when the rubber came in a little bit, we started to lose grip on the harder tires. But now with the synthetic on the synthetic, it seems to be working good again.
So this is the Swift bit. Look at this, a nice flat straight bit. You get a whole 20 yards, 20 metres, and then of course you're turning again very sharply, going wide and up the hill, and setting yourself up for what probably is certainly the most spectacular part of the track. Also the bit where we see the most incident and accident. But it starts with a relatively simple hairpin up there.
Yeah, this is really cool here. You can do almost a wheelie up this. You got to carry your speed really good. But this one is also pretty grabby. You got to be sure to not overcorrect through here. You don't want to turn in too sharp. You lose a lot of time, and you want to kind of bleed a little bit towards the middle of this jump. So you don't want to turn too sharp here.
It's the point you make there. You want to be in the middle of this run, but Ash, if you point back, look how far away the rostrum is. So how easy is it to actually see where your car is in relation to the left and right? If you just come and look down the roller coaster, how easy is it to position it exactly where you want it, just visually?
Yeah, the biggest thing is honestly like looking at the black groove. That's where you can really tell where your car is. But it's definitely a little bit tough to see the depth of perception. It's pretty far away. So you definitely gotta concentrate pretty hard back here. It's pretty difficult.
What we've seen is a few people have got it slightly wrong, and they end up overcorrecting. So they end up going into that middle area or going a bit too wide. I mean, it's very hard because that's 50 metres you're away from the driver's stand. These rollers obviously don't look particularly difficult, because of course there's 5 of them, and you're going downhill, and you've got a dead stop at the end. So explain to me how you actually drive this section.
Yeah, this first one is honestly a little bit tough to clear if you hit it too inside. The lip is a little bit smaller. You can see it a little bit here. But if you hit it right in the middle, you clear this one really nice. And then you kind of want to land in the middle here and arc to the left a little bit. But if you're too far inside, you can very easily land inside of the pipes and then throw a lot of dust on the track and make it hard for everybody else.
We have seen some points where it was mostly dust. Yes, we come down here. Now, interestingly, I didn't realise until I walked here just now just how far down that is. That is really, really steep. That's 5.5 metres, 5 feet, I'd say.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite as gnarly as it is, but that's a pretty big jump. I mean, it's far. And it's definitely a tough landing to not flip over, because there's kind of a knuckle, and it's very easy to flip off the track.
So again, you're actually flying this bit here, just like I've got grip in my shoes, and this is the landing area. This is where all the excitement happens, because what you're trying to do, I take it, is you're trying to just land here, and I take it you're full brakes?
Yeah, you got to be careful not to land here on full brakes, because you'll go off this drop off right here, and then you'll flip over. But yeah, this is the sweet spot right here, full brakes, and then you really want to try and stay on the apex here and not go too far out wide and get in the dust.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that quite a lot, but also we see people who kind of take 2 bites of the cherry, get too much grip. Is it sort of, because of the way the car's kind of unloading and loading with the weight, the landing, does that make it unpredictable in turning?
Yeah, this is definitely probably one of the hardest corners on the track, just because it's so fast after this double and you're carrying so much speed, it's hard to not flip over, and then sometimes it's very unpredictable because there can be dust on the track. You just don't really know how much grip you're going to have every lap, especially if somebody went in the infield, so it's definitely pretty tough.
So sweeping round now, it comes. You come onto we call it the patio section, the rumble strip. This is actually printed concrete. Actually, it's not. It looks like tiles, but it's actually printed concrete. How does the grip change here? I mean, obviously the whole thing is very hard packed. Is it actually any different when you're actually on concrete?
No, this seems to have stayed pretty consistent. The grip up here, it doesn't seem to be too changing as far as the grip levels, but it's definitely pretty tough to hit your marks every lap here. It's especially coming up here, you don't want to traction roll. It's just got to really carry your momentum. That's the best thing there.
And then you come to the most random part of the track, which is the rumble strips, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Now, what I've noticed from 2 years ago is, on the whole, everyone's kind of got the idea better, but you get slightly to an angle and the whole thing goes wrong. I mean, how are you coming around every lap going, oh, I hope it works?
Yeah, you kind of are still turning a little bit when you come into this, and then if you go a little bit, like you can see where most of the people are, but if you stay towards the middle outside, you can carry a good line at the end. But some of the guys are going double, triple at the end there, and that's pretty dialed if you can do that.
The strange thing is that we talk about massive jumps and massive whoops. These are what? Half a foot, 20 centimetres, but they cause all the trouble.
Yep, yeah, it's because they're so tight together. It's a high-speed section, too. You got to really kind of carry your momentum, but if you go too fast or too slow, it ends pretty bad.
Yeah, we see it on a number of occasions. So then we come back on that nice, very dark section there. So that's obviously where people are putting down a lot of power, a lot of tyre, and then you sweep down this big drop, which I think is, again, another kind of an open, fast section where you'll go down there, sweep down and go around the bottom corner. That looks like a relatively simple section, is it, or have I got that wrong as well?
It's relatively simple if you carry your good line through there. It's honestly probably one of the easier parts of the track, I would say, but it's definitely high speed when you get into that bowl over there.
I mean, that's the thing really about this entire track. The average speed is really, really high, isn't it? It's a big track, but you're covering a lot of distance because you're going very fast.
Yeah, yeah. It seems as if if you carry a better mile per hour, if you blow a line a little bit, you're better off to just carry your speed than stay like right on the pipe. It seems like it definitely seems like you really gotta work on carrying your momentum.
So we're going to come around the Contramar corner. That's a relatively simple one. We'll just take a bit of a shortcut because I'm old and I can't going to get too many steps. That single just ahead of us, that looks relatively simple for a professional driver. Would that be fair? And then it's about a top and turn and then back on these two.
Yeah, there's a lot of grip here, obviously. So you kind of, the single doesn't really seem like it would do much. But if you come to this a little too hot, you kind of high side a little bit and you can flip over here. But this is relatively simple.
I mean, in these parts really, it's just about keeping a line and avoiding any chance of grip roll, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, yeah. Like here, you want to really you have to sweep out here. So a lot of guys in the first laps when we got here, they stayed a little tight here and they would go straight and then you'd run straight into this pipe here. But you definitely, there's a straight line, but you definitely have to come at it right.
So this is we're in the sort of the section that's completely different from 2 years ago. This is kind of I call it the outer loop because it just goes off as far as it can. It's kind of in your favour with the camber here, isn't it? Relatively, we don't see much instant here, so I take it it's a relatively simple section.
Yeah, it's relatively simple. I mean, other than you can hit this pipe here and hit the fence, but
well, the fence is not simple.
Yeah, other than that, it's not too bad. This corner is very grippy. You can kind of traction roll high side a little bit, but this is coming into one of the more simple parts of the track, I would say.
So now we come to the redesigned area. I think we'll just skip this side so we can actually see it from above. You end up with effectively a double chicane, both right lefts, a tighter one and a looser one. I mean, this one particularly, the first one, looks really quick and you can really flow it if you get the line right. If you don't, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, this is pretty tough. I mean, this is all pretty easy. You just want to make sure you land in the right spot here. But when we came up the hill for the first time, like when we first got here, everyone was going into the drainage tile area because it looks a lot different than it is. You got to go a little more straight than you think, and you really got to carry your speed going up through there. It's easy. It's very easy to hit the inside pipe here on this turn.
So you've managed to get yourself through where the hairpin, which is very nicely banked in your favour. That's next, and then you get this jump. Now this jump, genuinely, on the camera, that jump looks like it's like 4 inches high because it's right above us. But I'm going to kind of stand next to the side of it here, and it's a massive single. This is obviously where we had the coming together at the end of it with Sanchez and Savoia. So you can see this again is 4 foot or so, and you're flying, and then you've got to land and turn through the chicane. That looks particularly tricky.
Yeah, the jumps kind of give you a false sense here because you're carrying so much momentum. You don't really have to go that much faster to make the jumps. But yeah, this one's definitely pretty tough. You can see a lot of people have gone on the inside here. It's a little more left than it looks. It looks pretty straight from the driver's stand. So you kind of got to be pretty careful not to go inside of this pipe here. But the chicane is pretty simple after, as long as there's not dust from people going in the infield.
Or other drivers in front of you, yeah. I mean, it's a fast flow. Again, right and left, and you can see the markings. To me, I think this track seems to have quite a lot of time where you're braking and turning. Is that true?
It's a lot of turns, yeah.
On the brakes as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few more hairpins than last time. Last time the track was a little bit faster. I don't think there was quite as many hairpins. I think we counted like 11 90-degree turns, so it's definitely a little bit slower, but you're still going very fast and turning a lot.
So you're getting towards the end of the lap now, and you go on this patio section, which I believe actually is actual rocks rather than printed concrete. In fact, it is. You can see. Look, you can prove this now to Lefty. Ash, look, these are actual paving slabs. Look, with gaps and everything. That is a paving slab. I think the different colours have no different grip. It's just to kind of get into the end.
Yeah, I think that's just for design. It just looks cool, but. Yeah, this is relatively simple. If you go a little wide, it's definitely looser off of the pipe there, and you can see as well there's people that have gone in the infield there.
Oh, that dust has been raised several times.
Yeah, it's a little dusty every once in a while, but there's some good grip right here, and then you come to this finish line here.
So last turn, reasonably simple unless you're under severe pressure from someone. And I just realised that they've got kind of like little bits of plastic finishing line. So they've got if you look at the first one there, it's paint. The second one finished, but this third one, which I assume probably has one of the loops in it. There's 2 loops. That's the first loop. That's the backup loop. And this is actually plastic, which I don't suppose affects you at all. And then you've got a double to turn back and go up the straight.
Yeah, this is pretty simple here, but there's been some pretty cool finishes here. This last section, it's had some really tight racing at the end of the races, which is cool. You get to see a lot of chaos at the end. There was chaos in the last race that was pretty cool to watch. But yeah, this double is pretty simple. You gotta really not overcorrect coming out of the straightaway here, but yeah, pretty simple.
And then what should be the simplest part, which is the straight. My one question on this straight is how easy or difficult is it to make the pit entry? It seems a little bit sharp, a little bit driven in, but they haven't put the rumble strips. It's a short run in. Is it an easy one to make?
It's pretty simple. It's not too bad. The only thing that's a little bit difficult sometimes is if you have someone standing next to you, their radio's a little far out. You can't see it super good from the driver's stand. That's pretty much the only really difficult part. And then the chicane coming out is pretty cool. It's definitely not quite like what we have in the U.S., so it's kind of cool to do something different.
Excellent. Spencer, thank you very much for walking us around the lap. It's been an eye-opener. I've learned not just from you, but actually just being here and seeing how big the whole track is. Sorry you aren't taking part anymore in the championship, but you've got a few of your Techno teammates who are. Yeah. Spencer Hager, thank you much. And that was the track walk.
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brand and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Ultimate power at the track. At Ultimate Racing, we fuel your passion for speed and performance with our top-tier Nitro engines. Designed for precision, built for durability. Our engines are engineered to dominate the toughest off-road courses and push you to victory. From competition buggies to truggies, Ultimate Racing takes you beyond the limits. Get ready to power up, rev up, and race. Visit us at BeachRC.com and order your Ultimate Racing products today. Ultimate Racing, where champions are built.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are at lunch break here at the 2024 IFMAR IC Buggy World Championships. The atmosphere is starting to buzz. We're going to take a little quick walk around and show you how things are at the World Championships. But first, let's go over here. Oh, I almost hit John Hazelwood. So here we have our Frosty Beer Garden, which has been visited quite heavily throughout the weekend. Robbie, good work.
Thank you.
Bobby, and everybody's in a hurry getting their tires up and going. So let's take a quick walk into the pits, see what people think of the race so far. We have children coming. It is Saturday here, so lots of people off work coming to enjoy the World Championships and the finals. If it's going to be anything like it was in 2022, I expect all of this to be full with people all around watching the race. We've already seen the crowd oohing and ahhing throughout the finals, getting excited. Should we go over and talk to the S-Work team? Let's go over and have a walk and talk with them as we come over. what makes a facility hold the worlds? It's not just a track. We have cool things like tire wash stations, we have compressors, all this type of stuff that makes the worlds go. So let's go over here and have a talk to the S-Works crew and see how they're working. We got the Techno team here, big. Nice to see the Techno team with a big presence here this week. Let's have a chat with the S-Works team. I think we're going to talk to Mason Fuller, who's trying to hide from us. Mason, you tell us what you did on your day off.
Watched my brother race. We went to the beach.
So you just relaxed?
Yeah, in the morning we went to the beach, and then he raced in the afternoon. And then got the car ready. That was pretty much it.
What type of changes, what have you learned from your semis? What are you guys making, adjusting your car? You didn't get on the track yesterday. You got your 10 minutes in. What did you learn?
My car was harder to drive in that, so we're going to go try and make it easier to drive for the semi. And we'll see, I guess.
So you are one of the Americans who found some pace late in qualifying. How was you able to pull out those fast qualifiers? What changed in your program to allow you to do that?
I mean, we just kind of got the setup down, and then I made no mistakes in the last round, so that was why I was top 10.
All right. So do you feel that you can win this?
The whole race? I mean, we'll just try and get in the main first and see what happens.
Can you give us any idea, any clues to what type of tires you're going to go out in your semi? What did you test in practice?
We just ran these silver overdose tires, new JC tire.
All right. Cool, man. Well, good luck to you, Iceman. The S-Works cars are looking great. I'm going to go over and have a talk with Brandon Rose and Camden Lime, who's looking kind of bummed over there. Let's take a quick walk. Mike Fuller's busy thrashing away here. Let's go over and have a quick chat with the man, the myth, the legend, and here's Mr. Rose. How you doing, Mr. Rose? We got Brandon Rose representing the state of Texas. Dude, great. Awesome quarterfinal. How do you feel?
Hey, yeah, I'm feeling good. That quarter was really good. My car was really, really good. Made a few changes yesterday. Just that last qual, how I was kind of feeling, and I think we made a step in the right direction for sure. Changed tires, ran a new tire, the overdose, and they were really, really good. Felt a lot better than a little better than the Dirt Web 2. And yeah, just keep it clean, start at 9th, so hopefully there's some lap 1 chaos up there. We can sneak on up there.
Tell us about this track. It's been a bit difficult for you guys. You were one of the Americans that were kind of on pace at the beginning. Needed a couple of good runs to get you right into the semis, but what has been the hardest thing for you adjusting to this track?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is just the size, the depth perception. Our layouts, they don't really have like the chicanes as much. And with the depth perception and like the different style of layout, I think that's the biggest thing we just got to get used to. So there's more and more track time, and more of the Americans came on top just because we had to get used to the track. It's not really our feeling at all. And then the grip level too. I mean, I'm 150K center diff. I was telling my dad, I've raced RC cars for 12 years. I've never been this high before.
Right.
So it's just all kind of different, all new stuff to us, but we're figuring it out slowly but surely.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck. It was an impressive quarterfinal race for you. You got 30 minutes of practice, and do it for Texas, dude.
Yes, sir. Team Texas.
Awesome. Let's go have a talk with Camden Lime. Come over, XC Lime. I missed your final, dude, but I heard you was in the lead. Tell us a bit what happened.
Yeah, I just went out on the wrong tire, and I had zero pace compared to the top 5 guys, so started off pretty strong and just tried to putt around and see how long I could stay in front. I knew out of my first lap that I wasn't gonna have the pace that I had going into qualifying. Bummed is an understatement, just because I had really good pace all week, and just 2 wrecks would take me out of top 12, top 15 runs all week. So I had a chance to make the semi, and I didn't even make the quarter. So it was a bit of a unfortunate thing, and then I just picked the wrong tires for the track this morning, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm happy with how I drove.
All right. Well, I know your father, Tim Lyon's been watching. I know he's not feeling too well. We wish him a speedy recovery. It's been awesome to watch your progression. I know you're a little bit bummed, but I think you should enjoy the rest of your rounds. Cheer on Team America, and good luck to all the Americans.
Yeah, good luck to all my boys, all the S-Works teammates, Brandon, Mason, Juan. Hopefully they can pull it out, Elliott.
Awesome. Well, good talking to you, man. Good seeing you. All right, let's take a walk over to the Techno pits. We got Elliot Boots. He looks really focused. Mr. Chris Boots, he's like, no, camera for me. I know. Let's go talk to Mr. Chris Boots. I haven't seen him. Hello, Mr. Boots. Good to see you.
Good. I'm fine, thank you.
What do you think about this? Well, I think Elliot has something. I think he's not showing his trump card yet.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, the warm-up he's really happy with. Trying some tyres. yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard. As you know, our track's really hard. The drivers, there's very little in the times. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting semis, I think.
Yeah. He came second here. He's won a European Championship here. He's had a wonderful last year. It would be a cherry on the top if he could take this in.
It'll be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely amazing. We just want to make the main, get into the main. That's the goal, you know, get in the main and then you see what happens.
Absolutely.
It's an hour around that track's going to be pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good to see you. I'll see you later at the Bergarden. Take
See
care.
you later.
Bye-bye. All right, let's have a walk over here. We got Mayfield is having a meeting with the J Concepts guys. We'll come back and have a chat with them. Morning, everybody. Let them have a chat. Let's go talk to Joao. I had some requests for mechanic interviews, so I'm going to talk to Truey, but he looks busy. Joao, I know you're busy.
Yep.
Quick words for us, please.
We'll see how it goes.
Happy with your practice?
Not really. We chose the wrong tire compound, so we're changing now again. We got some info from the team drivers, so gonna probably go with the same as Robert, what he did on practice. So it looked good. He felt, fast. So we'll see.
All right. Well, boa suerte. Hablamos ahorita.
Obrigado.
Truey, I know you're busy, but we have been requested for mechanic interviews. I saw you a little bit of one of your last pit stops. You missed the loop, but you gained it. Was about some very lightning fast pit stops from you guys all weekend.
Yeah, it's been good. The last one, I missed the car. Something cut my hand pretty good. And, didn't make the best of it, but no, it's been good. Car's getting better, so we'll see how it goes in the semi.
As a former world finalist, you almost won this in 2008, coming there pitting for your boy Ryan Mayfield. No, he had to muscle that car around that track. What are you going to do to get his car better?
Yeah, I think the car was probably one of the best it's been all weekend, drivability-wise. If it looks like he's pushing it, that's good. So make a few more changes in that direction for this semi and hope for the best.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and we look forward to some of those fast pits.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's Mike Truey. Let's go over to the Associated Pits. Let's see who we can find over here. I see Yuna Hotnen. Yuna, come here, Yuna. All right. Hello, HK. Yuna.
Yo.
You know, Max is all excited about that win that you just had in your quarterfinal impressive drive.
I am too. Thank you.
Is that all we're going to get from you?
Yes.
So we're going to write Kimi Räikkönen today?
Yes.
What's your strategy going into your semis?
Bump up.
How do you plan to do that?
Drive good.
What changes are you making to your car?
Nothing. Tires.
Do you feel you can bump up?
I do.
What tires are you going on?
JC.
Can we tell a little bit more than that?
Black round.
Hard or soft?
Not either.
Bars or pins?
Bars.
Do I wish you good luck?
I hope.
Good luck. It was an impressive drive. Good luck. That's awesome. All right, let's go. Let's see who else we can talk to around here. I was looking for Angaro, but he has disappeared. So let's go over and talk to some of the people in the crowd. Why don't we... Ash, who's carrying the very heavy camera, as we try to find some people. I don't want to disturb these guys because they're talking. There's Mayfield having some strategy plans and whatnot. There's Miko Widdemeyer, who's had a good weekend, but his day is over. Let's go over and see what the crowd. Let's see what the crowd's saying as we come over. It's a little bit loud here, so let's go. Up into the crowd and talk to us. Hello, how are you? Let's go talk to some of the people. We got Miguelo here, probably one of the premier track builders in Europe, Buggyland. What's up, Miguelo? We have a big tap. Miguelo, ¿cómo está?
Hello, how are you? Fine. And you?
Todo bien, ¿y tú?
Todo bien. Tu español es muy bien. Your Spanish is very good.
Thank you. Buggyland this year, what can we expect?
I think back and United States?
Both.
The Buggyland Europe is in 3 weeks, and remember I go to Boogie Mania, the third edition in December, and in March the next year, 2025, is the third edition. I don't know, in Florida or in California.
Okay,
maybe.
So you have become one of the premier track builders in the world.
Yes.
I recognize your tracks wherever we go. You know, I can see your style. When you build a track, how do you approach it?
I don't know. It's very difficult. It's the design the track and build the track is I don't know.
Tell me in Spanish.
Yes, in Spanish. Sí. Dímelo en español.
Yo pregunto, cuando tú vienes a una pista nueva, ¿cómo tú manejas eso? ¿Cómo la primera cosa? Porque tú tienes una forma para hacer una pista muy diferente de todo.
Es diferente. My style es súper diferente al americano. Es más como F1. Hay que destruir todo, hay que ver cómo pasa el coche. Yo soy piloto y creo que el secreto de mis pistas es que yo sigo pilotando y sigo probando las pistas. A mí me gusta que el coche tenga mucha trazada, sea muy layout, sea muy rápido, muy faster y sea easy, es un mix. Entonces yo creo que el secreto, la diferencia es que yo soy piloto de radio control.
Okay, so he basically said he thinks one of the things that makes him different is he's a racer, and when he goes out, he does a lot of testing on the track. He wants to make sure that the corners are very very fast, and carrying a lot of corner speed. You know, we see your tracks at IBC. You did a beautiful job in Sicilia at Hungaroring, beautiful track. Like I said, you've come over. I've seen you with pictures of you at the tramp for hours and days on end, turning into obviously one of the premier track builder here in Europe, and we look forward to some of your layouts over in the USA.
What, repeat please, in Spanish?
Tú es una de las primeros constructoras de pistas en Europa y esperamos para que tú tengas para Buggyland en los Estados Unidos.
Thank you very much. For me, go to the United States is a dream. It's perfect for me. It's amazing, and I no puedo esperar. I can go out the return to Florida or California.
Está bien.
Thank you very much. Sorry for my English. Sorry, I live.
Está bien. All right, guys, I've been told we got to cut this short. If you just pan out, you see everybody over here is getting ready to watch the semis. We're going to get back up and watch some of the semis. We hope you enjoyed this walkabout. Let's get ready to race.
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brand and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.